With that, Senator Shaheen, do you have?
Yes, I have a final question, and Senator Van Hollen's question serves as a nice segue into this question because you were talking about China's influence in international bodies and what that does to undermine Taiwan. As you pointed out, it exerts its influence at the UN, and it tries to prevent Taiwan's meaningful participation and to force other countries to adopt that Taiwan policy. So can you expand a little bit on why it's important for the United Nations or the United States to counter Beijing's tactics at the United Nations, and also what happens if we disengage from international bodies? How does that give an opening to China to prevent Taiwan's meaningful participation, and also what that means in terms of our ability to compete with China in those international bodies? And so I would start with you, Ms. Glaser, but others please jump in.
Well, I do want to give an opportunity to my fellow witnesses to answer this question as well. I think that as we disengage from some of the international organizations, we cede just so much to the Chinese. They are able to insert their norms and their interpretations of what the UN particular should be doing to in individual agencies where in the past they've been very successful at getting people as the heads of agencies, and then they can further block Taiwan from participating. I will mention just like the UN Human Rights Commission, where there has been a reinterpretation of human rights. It is the Chinese believe that the economic rights are most important, not freedom of the press or assembly or speech. And that, I think, has been very damaging to democracy worldwide. So I think that this is likely to continue. The Chinese have become very influential in places like the World Bank and the IMF, and of course all of the UN agencies, the World Health Organization, Interpol, absolutely. These are places where not only is Taiwan barred from participating, but China is just setting the agenda, and it's very damaging to our interests.
Yes.
Thank you, Ranking Member Shaheen, for the question. I'll just offer a few quick points. The first one, as Ms. Glaser just mentioned, is that China can weaponize international institutions against Taiwan when Taiwan is not at the table and Taiwan is not supported. That does happen, and actually you mentioned Interpol. That is a place where that will happen. Right now, as Ms. Glaser mentioned, Puma Shun is sort of under target by the PRC. They are trying to push that through Interpol so that they can extraterritorially administer beyond who they have extradition treaties with a repressive regime against Taiwan citizens. A second point, though, which I think is bigger and more strategic, is that if we want to be able the ability to deter PRC action against Taiwan, we can't do it alone. There is an international component to that. And so the steady erosion of the legitimacy of Taiwan as an entity that acts in the international system, maybe not as a country, but as an economy, that means fewer countries will stand with Taiwan when it counts. And that is the real reason the PRC pushes back on international space. It isn't purely about sovereignty. It's about geopolitics. And finally, Ranking Member Shaheen, I want to put on your radar APEC. APEC is coming up. It'll be in China, and there's a real possibility that the delegation of Taiwan could be threatened or even arrested. APEC has every right to participate, or rather Taiwan has every right to participate in APEC. They're very careful and restrained. They don't usually send, for example, their president to APEC to avoid offense to China. And I think the possibility that China would push back on Taiwan's legitimate participation in APEC will be the most significant effort to constrain its international space that we will see in many years, and it's coming up this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Shaheen. I just wanted to address your question about what happens when we disengage specifically. I think regardless of the forum or the venue, when we are not present, we're losing an opportunity to talk to other partners about Taiwan. We're losing an opportunity to talk to them about our One China policy, which admittedly is unique. But we have learned over the years since the TRA was passed how to operationalize our own unofficial relationship with Taiwan. And when we don't show up and we don't have the opportunities to talk with other partners about this, we're frankly missing out on a chance to educate them on the opportunities that they might have, to some of the earlier comments about allies and partners, to engage with Taiwan in a way that comports with their own laws and policies as well.
Well, thank you all very much.
Thank you. You've had